Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. We're here this morning for our Administrative Matters meeting. I call this meeting to order, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Welcome, everyone. We begin our meetings with public comment, and I don't have anyone signed up, but I'll throw that out to the audience to see if anybody would like to give public comment, and you would have 3 minutes to do so. Please raise your hand if you're interested. I don't see anyone who's interested. I think you're all here for another matter. So, Sarah, is there anyone who wanted to call in with public comment?
No, Commissioner.
Okay, then we'll close public comment for today, and we'll remind folks that they can come back next week and give public comment. You're also welcome to email the commissioners or give us a phone call if you have any comments. So we'll move on to the next item, which is approval of the minutes. Commissioner Shattuck McNally, I'll ask you to make that motion.
Certainly, Madam Chair. I move to approve the minutes for the week of September 1st, 2025.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 3-0. We'll move to Sarah for our upcoming schedule review.
This is the Commissioner's schedule for September 15th through the 21st. On Monday, September 15th, from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual statewide Transportation Advisory Committee and Transportation Commissioner Coordination meeting. From 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Larimer County Opioid Abatement Advisory Group meeting. From 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., there will be a work session with Emily Humphrey, Director of Community Justice Alternatives, in the Commissioner's Conference Room on the second floor. From 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual State Forest Health Council Leveraging Resources Committee meeting. From 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., there will be a work session with Leslie Ellis, Director of Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources, in the Commissioner's Conference Room on the second floor. From 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., Commissioners will attend the Longview Celebration and Adolescent Unit Open House at 2260 West Trilby Road, Fort Collins. On Tuesday, September 16th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be an Administrative Matters meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioner Cavallis may attend the Community Corrections Advisory Board meeting at 2307 Midpoint Drive in Fort Collins. From 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m., there will be a Commissioner's Budget Retreat at the Arrowhead Lake Conference Room on the fourth floor. On Wednesday, September 17th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Big Thompson Watershed Health Partnership meeting. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioner Cavallis will volunteer at El Nidito Early Childhood Education, the Family Center / La Familia at 309 Hickory Street, number 5 in Fort Collins. From 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual State Joint Alignment Committee meeting. From 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., Commissioners Cavallis and Shattuck McNally may attend the Veterans Together meeting. The location will be announced prior to the meeting. From 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Family Center / La Familia Meet Me Vos at the Northside Aslan Community Center at 112 East Willow Street in Fort Collins. On Thursday, September 18th, from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., Commissioner Cavallis will attend the Housing Catalyst Board of Commissioners meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at 1715 West Mountain Avenue in Fort Collins, or virtually via Boardable. From 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Commissioner Cavallis may participate in the virtual Colorado System of Care Implementation Advisory Committee meeting. From 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioners may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together Policy meeting. From 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., there will be Common Grounds with Commissioner Shattuck McNally. Topic and location will be announced prior to the meeting. From 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual North Front Range Metropolitan Planning Organization Finance Committee meeting. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Board of Health meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at 1525 Blue Spruce Drive in Fort Collins or virtually via Zoom. On Friday, September 19th from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual State Forest Health Council Legislative Committee meeting. From 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual NOCO Partners meeting. From 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Commissioners may participate in the virtual Colorado Counties Inc. Steering Committee meeting. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioners may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together member check-in meeting. On Saturday, September 20th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will host story time at the Larimer County Farmers Market at 200 West Oak Street. On Sunday, September 21st from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the Fort Collins Sustainability Group 2025 NOCO Climate Meetup event at Centennial Park at 977 West 1st Street in Loveland.
Thank you, Sarah. Are there any additions or corrections? Commissioner Shattuck McNally.
Thank you. Thank you. I always say this, but I just always want to thank Sarah and Melissa and Brenda for wrangling our schedule every week, because it's like herding cats. We keep changing and twisting things, but I have some additions. And the first one is on Wednesday, September 17th. I wanted to just add that I will be touring the Estes Park Harmony Recovery Center, but I'm going to have some of the town trustees with me, Youngland and maybe others, and so that is from 11 to 2 on 11:30 to 2 on September 17th, and then on Thursday, September 18th. I had to confirm these things, but I will be doing a coffee meetup in the Tahosa Valley at Tahosa Coffee, which is, I'll give you the address. It is 10758 Colorado Highway 7, Elms Park, and that is next to Camp St. Malo. And I will be there from 10 to 11, visiting with folks from the Tahosa Valley. And then that will be my annual meetup for this time. And then I will then go to Estes Park from, what did you have, from 12 to 1. That will be at Kind Coffee, and it's just open topic. I know a lot of folks have lots of things to talk about, so I'm just going to leave it open topic. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kafalis.
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Just two adjustments. One is that the Me Voss event on September 17th, Wednesday, I plan to attend that as well at Azaban. And secondly, regarding the Sustainable Living Association event, 25-year anniversary event at Mishawaka Inn, I'm also planning to participate in the Poudre River cleanup from 10 a.m. to 12, and then I've been asked to speak at about 2 o'clock.
Great. All right. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate your help. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, and that is our consent agenda. So under the first item is abatements. We have 7 abatements, petition for abatements or refund of taxes. You can get more information on those on our website. We have 3 agreements. First is a drainage agreement between Larimer County and East Larimer County Water District. This is in an agreement that lasts in perpetuity, and no dollar amount on that. Second is this construction services agreement for the Ranch Central Lawn expansion, and that will be happening through summer of 2026. That is an agreement between Larimer County and Grassland Construction Company, and the total dollar amount is approximately $18.2 million. Next is the Board of Commissioners of Larimer County contract for commercial concession purposes. This is a contract to allow the Carter Sail Club to utilize and occupy areas of Carter Lake for its club operations, and that contract runs through December 31st of 2029 and is $15,000 approximately annually. We have 4 liquor licenses, a renewal for Cherokee Park Dude Ranch in Livermore, Colorado, which is a hotel and restaurant license, a renewal for the Tavern at Red Feather Lakes in Red Feather Lakes, a tavern license, a renewal for the Charcoal Broiler outside of Fort Collins, and that's a hotel and restaurant license, and finally a renewal for the Ellis Ranch Event Center and Wedding Park outside of Loveland, Colorado, and that's a tavern license. Finally, we have 7 miscellaneous items. First is a conveyance of permanent drainage easement. Again, that was alluded to earlier, and that is an easement granted in perpetuity by the East Larimer County Water District, conveyed for the sum of $10 to permit stormwater drainage. Next is a grant of emergency access easement, again for East Larimer County Water District. This is for access by local, state, or federal emergency response agencies. We have 4 requests to enter upon lands to do weed mitigation, and our last miscellaneous item is an update to our Larimer County Guiding Principles. The county's guiding principles originated from strategic goals dating back to 2002 and have evolved through the years, with the most recent refresh occurring in 2022. These principles influence the county's vision, mission, and daily interactions as Larimer County employees serve the public and work together. The Guiding Principles Champion Committee has recommended an incremental update to the Guiding Principles following their meeting on August 20th, 2025. So that is everything on the consent agenda. Would either commissioner want to remove anything from the consent agenda? Commissioner Kafalis.
No, Madam Chair, but I wish to speak to item number 7 under miscellaneous.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So this one is with regard to updating the guiding principles based on the recommendations of the Guiding Principles Champions when they met back last month in August. And first thing I'd like to express is a genuine appreciation and gratitude to the staff, to county leadership. Folks have worked really hard, have always been very thoughtful and intentional to consider updating these guiding principles, and also with regard to changes on the website, references to labels, and how we provide services and programs. So I think it is important to understand that that we are making these language changes not only in the guiding principles, changing a few words, but we are doing this throughout the website, and we're doing this because we care. We care about the people we serve and want to address all of our community members' needs throughout the county, throughout Larimer County, and all corners. Calm leadership requires us to learn how to navigate, adapt, and pivot during uncertain times while staying true to what is right, serving all members of the community with respect, humility, and love. Language matters, and we seek words that unify us rather than divide us. And actions matter, of course, and we seek to understand the different needs of our community and to provide services accordingly so that everyone has a fair chance to succeed in life, regardless of where they live, who they are, and their story. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Shannock McNally, is there anything you'd like to share before we make a motion on this item?
I thank you, Madam Chair, for giving us equal time. I just want to say, thoughtful, stalwart leadership is measured and kind and thoughtful. And as we care about every single member of our community, words do take meaning through actions. And I think our actions speak volumes here in Larimer County. It's a county where we look for everyone to have a sense of belonging and value and that their voices matter. And I want to thank our guiding principal champions and all the folks on our staff who work on these items. And they're not just, if you see the poster on the wall, they're not just posters on the wall. I see our staff working extremely hard, showing these values in the work they do every day. And I see it every day. And I just want to thank our staff for their hard work and dedication and following these principles. But I think, it is always the right time to do what's right. And to also, I just want to express my unwavering commitment to serving our community and the entire community. And I'm proud to serve as Larimer County Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, I'll just add that while sometimes the words have changed in these principles, our principles have not changed. And we are committed to providing an excellent workplace and to serving all members of our community. And that is one thing that has not changed. So with that, I will ask Commissioner Kafalis to make a motion on the consent agenda.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Thank you. I move to approve the consent agenda for September 9th, 2025.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 That's motion passes 3-0, and we will move on to our commissioner's guests. I believe that Commissioner Shattuck McNally has a guest, and I'll ask you to introduce your guest.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Very proud to have our new.
I think your mic turned off.
Thank you. I turned it off so people don't hear my papers rustling, but I just wanted to thank and welcome our new U.S. Chris, I'm just trying to get back to my page. Of course, my computer decided to shut down, but I'm very honored and pleased that we have Chris Stubbs, who is now the Forest Supervisor for the Arapaho Roosevelt National Forest, and really glad to have him. Come on up and I'll say a few words. He joined the Forest and Grasslands in November 2024, and previously he served as a Forest Supervisor and Deputy Supervisor in Los Padres National Forest in Southern California. And he has a long history of building key partnerships and collaborations on that 2 million acre urban coastal national forest, and he led his staff through lots of things similar to Larimer County. He led through a lot of flooding and storm damage, so he's no stranger to natural disasters. And I share a strong affinity with Rocky Mountain National Park with Supervisor Stubbs. Him and I have one of our favorite trails is the same one, and I'm really pleased that you came today, and I welcome you and thank you for your service. We're so glad to have you and look forward to our partnerships. And I'll let you continue. Thank you, Chris, for being here today.
Commissioner Shattuck McNally, thank you. Commissioners, I'm honored to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me here. I was going to make some informal remarks for 5 to 7 minutes and then see if you all have any questions. Does that work?
That sounds perfect. Thank you.
So as Jody said, my name is Chris Stubbs. Please call me Chris. I've been the Forest Supervisor on the Arapaho and Roosevelt National Forest and the Pawnee National Grassland since January. Before that, I was the Forest Supervisor on the Los Padres National Forest in Southern California. My wife and I moved here in January. We bought a house in Fort Collins in March. We are enjoying the community. I was in love with this community before that, and in fact, my wife and I got married in Larimer County, up at Mills Lake in Rocky Mountain National Park. So this is a special place to us, folks. Our national forests are America's backyard. And there's few places where that's more true and obvious than Larimer County, Colorado. Okay, our national forests provide clean water. Our national forests provide wood products. Our national forests provide minerals and energy development. And importantly, around here, recreation opportunities. They are places to play. They are places to find peace and solitude. I was searching for data this morning over a cup of coffee. I'll tell you that the Arapaho, Roosevelt, Pawnee, I'll shorten it to that, is the third most visited national forest unit in the country. Okay? We get 5 million annual recreation visits. So that puts us up there in national park territory, right? And those visitors spend $180 million a year. And a lot of that money is spent in Larimer County. The folks that go fishing up the Poudre River buy their gear in Larimer County. The folks that go mountain biking at Red Feather Lakes buy their gear in Larimer County. The folks that go backpacking in the Raywall Wilderness buy their gas in Larimer County. The folks that go bird watching around here go out to restaurants when they're done, restaurants and breweries. And while we don't have ski areas, we certainly get some spin-off from some of that traffic as well. You know, I can tell you that Winter Park Ski Resort, which is on my unit, they're the third largest employer in Grand County. In fact, ski areas are the number one money maker for the U.S. Forest Service. If anyone tells you it's timber, tell them to think again. It's ski areas. So we can't talk about national forests in this day and age without talking about wildfire. And I wasn't here in 2020. I'm sure most of the people in the room were. And it must have been a scary fire season with Cameron Peak and East Troublesome. And I'm so sorry. Having lived in Southern California, I feel you, okay? I feel you. You know, we have more and more people building homes and other infrastructure in the wildland urban interface, what we call the WUI, the edge of the forest and in the forest. We've got densification of our national forests. We've done a really good job of putting out fires for 100 years. But that has caused some pretty dense forests combined with pine beetle kill. I'm sure everyone's seen all of the dead wood out there. Well, that's what we call fuels. And those fuels need to be removed to protect the communities on the Front Range. And finally, and it's no secret, the planet is warming up. And that makes wildfires larger and more destructive. Cameron Peak and East Troublesome were the two largest wildfires in Colorado history. We continue with the money that was appropriated by Congress to work on recovery efforts from Cameron Peak. It's a long process, but I'd say it's going well. We've done a lot of replanting. We've done a lot of watershed restoration. We are rebuilding the Jack's Gulch campground. That's here in Larimer County as well. But we have work to do to protect all the communities and all the infrastructure on the Front Range, folks. I say with no sense of satisfaction that Denver could become, in the future, Los Angeles, where fires are coming out of the forest and into our communities. And I don't like that, and I want to stop it. And we all need to work together to be part of preventing those types of catastrophes. Money's not falling out of the sky for the Forest Service right now, okay? We're taking budget cuts, not budget increases. So we need to talk about creative ways to fund wildfire mitigation. Our experience and my highly trained professional foresters tell me that we really need mechanical means, okay, thinning, mastication, chainsaws combined with prescribed fire. So one of the things we need is for people to get used to seeing smoke in the air. It can be uncomfortable, but that prescribed fire combined with the thinning is what will stop future catastrophic wildfires. We all need to work on that together in partnership, and I value the partnership with Larimer County, and I really appreciate being invited here today. We also have a robust partnership with the NOCO Fireshed, the Northern Colorado Fireshed, and I am very active with that group, as is Jody and others. Changing gears for just a minute, if you've been reading the news, you'll see that the Department of Agriculture, which includes the U.S. Forest Service, is planning to make Fort Collins a hub. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I don't have any inside baseball on that. I'll probably learn more about it around the same time that you all learn about it. I've heard that the Secretary of Agriculture is going to come to Fort Collins. I don't know when. I hope to be told ahead of time. But I can only assume that's a good thing for Fort Collins and for the economy here, and just keeping up a robust community. And I think it's a good thing for the Forest Service, and we're looking forward to having more folks in the department out here in the field. So with that, I just want to perhaps close by saying the kind of relationship I hope to have with you all is you can pick up the phone and call me, okay? I'm approachable. I'll give you my card on my way out. We want, the U.S. Forest Service wants a relationship with all of our counties, including Larimer County. So with that, I wonder, do you all have any questions?
Well, thank you, Chris. Any questions for Chris? Commissioner Cafalis.
Yes, I do. And if I can offer some comments after or whenever you determine is the appropriate time. First of all, thank you very much, Chris, for being here. My question is, are you aware of the unauthorized activity that has been occurring this year on Forest Service Road 182, which is north of Cherokee Park Road, County Road 80C? And I recently met with your Canyon Lakes District Ranger, and that was a great relationship building time together. And I brought this to his attention, and it's basically, and I think our sheriff's office is aware because we have had to send deputies as well as law enforcement from the Forest Service. There are gatherings of OHVs, and most recently, under the, I think, Stage 1 fire restrictions of the Forest Service, there were campfires that were probably not legal. So I'm just wondering if you're aware of that situation. If not, you may want to talk to Brian and get up to speed and see how we can work. Because we did talk about working together, having some kind of convening of the neighbors up there who are very concerned. So
I'll chat with Brian about that. I don't know specifically about that instance. I will tell you I get briefed on a lot of unauthorized activities. Just a comment about campfires during fire restrictions. So that's like a $250 ticket. But if your campfire gets away and burns the forest, the government's coming after you for millions of dollars, and it happens regularly. So I just highly advise folks during fire restrictions not to have campfires.
No, and I think folks know that, but most folks know that. But I'm just saying that enforcement is always a challenge, and your folks show up there, but by then people have moved on, and this is not one incident; it's multiple incidences that have occurred since springtime this year, and perhaps in the past, and it's hundreds gathered, and they're a danger. They're a risk because they're consuming alcohol and they're shooting off firearms illegally, and we have sent folks there, and you have sent folks there, but you have one or two law enforcement people with hundreds of folks that have been drinking and have firearms and big OHVs. It's a little bit out of proportion.
Sure, I appreciate you flagging that for me, and I'm happy to look into it.
And thank you, of course. And may I just offer a couple of really quick comments?
Yeah, please go ahead,
Just
Commissioner.
appreciate the partnerships. I mean, historically, there have been great partnerships with Arapaho, Roosevelt, Pawnee, U.S. Forest Service. Um, it was great to meet with the New Canyon Lakes District Ranger, who I think came on board officially right around the time you came on board. So that's wonderful. You mentioned the various partners that are working on watershed protection, the Northern Colorado Fireshed Collaborative, all of those good things. I also want to do a shout out for Colorado State University. Obviously, CSU is a really important player in a lot of these forest health matters. And I guess finally, just to mention that um, on Thursday, September 25th, we'll be having our what we call Red Feather Lakes, our community conversation. And we will have your PIO, Reagan, up there giving us an update on the recreational sports shooting issue, as well as some other Forest Service updates. We will have the insurance commissioner there, Colorado Insurance Commissioner, talking about homeowners insurance. And, you mentioned more and more people living in the wildland urban interface, and there are lots of challenges with that and risks. We'll also have folks from our emergency services who are uh, administering the Wildlife Partner Program to look at defensible, the defensible space and those kinds of things. And actually, we will have it's going to be quite a show. The USDA Rural Development State Director, Sally Clark, is also going to be up there talking about rural development programs that they have. Just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. Brian is aware. Reagan will be there. And
Excellent. Thank
of
you.
course. Thank you, sir. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Shannon McNally, any questions or comments?
Yeah. Chris, thanks for being here. And for those in the audience, OHV means off-highway vehicle, just for those who don't know. And I think we had discussed that. There's some problems with that around Pole Hill. And then I had mentioned that incident when we had met before. And I know that I'm hearing more and more from folks about it kind of tearing up the roads, and some folks that, how they're trying to, it's the roads going through their neighborhoods to get to those places that it tears up the residents, and some of those residents tax themselves extra to maintain their road, that it gets torn up by those folks going. So I think it's starting to become more and more of a issue on both ends of the north and south ends of the county. So I appreciate the continued vigilance. And I want to just thank you for being here, and really it's great to share a love of Rocky with you. And then I kind of wanted to know, as I understand, do you have any information about the research hub is also, I know the research station is going to be all combined in Fort Collins as well. Do you have any updates on that?
I don't have any updates, but your information is the same as mine. So the Secretary Rollins put out a 4-page internal memo, which I'm sure is public information, more or less saying just that the research station will be here in Fort Collins, and a lot of the other research stations will be collapsed into it.
Great. I think I have read that same memo a few times, but thank you. I just didn't know if there's any updates. And then, I was also curious, when I agree with you about getting beneficial fire on the landscape. We have a lot of work to do to get to that point where we can really add that. But there's been a lot of great successes in Magic Feather Fire and others, and I was very glad to be there on the ground during that. And your team is just phenomenal here, that how they educate and bring folks along, and that's a partnership with the NOCO Fire Shed as well, and the Coalition for Put Around Our Shed. It's really great to have all those partners. And then also just appreciate, with Brian Sugg, I had a meeting with him as well, and trying to get together and make those conversations. And I think you're right, just the communication that we can pick up and call you. And I just really want to thank you for offering that, and to continue that. I think it's really important that we have those conversations and keep working. And I'm just really excited to have you here. And thank you for, I've seen you out at some local events, connecting with other nonprofit partners, and I just really value that work to make connections and build relationships. And I look forward to strengthening our relationship. And also, just want to offer, if you haven't connected with our DNR director, Dalen Figgs, that we connect you with him so you have that relationship, and Leslie Ellis, our Seabirds director, to have that strong relationship. And as you know, we have our woody biomass study that we're trying to implement. I guess the Colorado State Forest Service is going to insert that study into their biomass study. That's still, we're waiting for that to come out as an exemplar. They're calling it a pilot, but it's actually kind of something we're going to look to implement. So I just wanted to also just make sure that we connect you with some of our staff there doing some great work. And with my work at the Colorado Forest Health Council, we have, weekly, every other weekly with Forest Service folks, and just want to continue that partnership and discussion, and just really appreciate your time today. And I look forward to the work that we'll do together, and let us know how we can support you as these changes come with all of the hubs and all these other things, how we can be supportive and helpful. So thank you, sir, for being here today. It's great to see you, Chris.
Thanks for inviting me. Any other questions?
Yeah, I don't think I have any questions, but happy to take your card if something comes up. And I appreciate the information that you gave us today. Really helpful. I did not realize we were the third most visited Forest Service area. And so that's pretty exciting.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is really cool. And it's really cool to think about that. Like you said, the economic impact is really important to our community as well. So, thanks for the work that you do and the collaborations, and, just reach out if there's anything that we can do to help.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right, so we will move on to our one discussion item this morning. We have a lot of folks in the audience, so we're glad you're all here. And our item will be presenting the proclamation for the Kinship Appreciation Month. And this was submitted by Angela Mead, who's here with us today, our Deputy Division Manager for Human Services. So welcome, Angela, and you can kick us off on this item.
Good morning. It's nice to see you. I'm Angela Mead, Deputy Division Manager for Child, Youth, and Family Services, which is a division of the Department of Human Services. I have two guests that are joining me this morning. Gail Engel, who is co-founder and executive director of Grand Family Coalition. She also works for Generations United and Casey Family Programs as a lived experience expert. And we had intended to have Jamie Wellborn, a kinship provider in our community, to be here this morning and share her testimony and lived experience. And unfortunately, she was called into work, but we do have her caseworker, Amy Beeman, who's going to be speaking on her behalf. I'm here today to request that you officially proclaim the month of September as National Kinship Appreciation Month. This proclamation is a vital step in acknowledging and supporting the countless family members who are raising children in our Larimer County community. So what is kinship care? Kinship care is the selfless act of a relative or close family friend that's stepping in to raise a child who cannot live with their parents. These caregivers oftentimes are grandparents, aunts, uncles, older siblings, or a close family friend that provide a stable and loving home when a child's world has been turned upside down. They are the backbone of our community's child welfare system, providing care without being asked, or when asked by our department, they step up to the plate with care and concern for many of our children and youth. So I want to speak briefly about the impact and the importance of kinship care. Children in kinship care maintain connections to their family, community, and culture. This stability leads to better outcomes, including higher academic achievement and stronger emotional well-being. For our county, it is a compassionate and cost-effective approach to child welfare, as it keeps children out of the foster care system and connected to their family and community. Currently in Larimer County, we have 141 kids are living in a kinship type setting. And these are the kinship family situations that we are aware of. There are many more that we are unaware of as a child welfare agency. 63% of all kids who are not with their primary caregivers are residing in kinship care. And 94 different providers at this point in time have at least one or more children staying in their home. So along with the love and the compassion that comes with kinship care, there are also challenges that kinship providers face, and it's important to note those. Many kinship caregivers take on this role unexpectedly without the financial resources, legal support, or emotional counseling that they need. They often must navigate a complex system alone while also managing the emotional needs of a child in distress. So I come to you today with a call to action. And through this call to action, we can adopt the proclamation and in doing so officially recognize the sacrifices and the dedication of all of our kinship families. This act of recognition elevates awareness, it encourages community support, and it signals our county's commitment to strengthening all families in our community. It is a small but meaningful step toward ensuring that these unsung heroes get the support and recognition that they deserve. I respectfully urge you to adopt this proclamation and join us in honoring the kinship caregivers of Larimer County. Thank you for giving us this time today and for considering the proclamation, and I'm going to turn it over to Gail Engel at this time.
Thank you, Angela. Welcome, Gail.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am again honored to be here in front of you again this year. It is my honor to have the opportunity to speak with you today about a subject that is both deeply personal and profoundly significant to the 2.5 million children in the U.S. who are being raised by a relative, close family friend with no parent living in the home. Nationally, over 131,000 of those children are in the child welfare system. Today, I am here to represent the 2.4 million grandparents and another 1 million aunties, uncles, siblings, and cousins who have stepped up to raise their relatives' children. When children enter the child welfare system, lives are turned upside down, not just for the children, but for the parents, the caregivers that step in to whether a short-term or long-term solution. When children are separated from their parents, they experience loss, uncertainty, and often trauma. In a world where family fracture, families and those with familiar relationships can be the glue that holds families together when everything else shifts. Research shows that when children are raised with the support of a grandparent, they don't just gain a caregiver, they gain an anchor. Grandparents often bring stability in chaos, stories that carry history, and a love that is bonding. Kinship caregivers also provide emotional stability, culture continuity, and a security when families are under stress and transition. These caregivers provide wisdom that reminds children that belonging does not come from perfection, but from presence, and for that they will never feel alone. As kinship caregivers are relied upon more and more every day, a response from the ABA Center of Children and Law and Generations United released a briefing, Kinship Promising Practices. The brief shares promising practices for across the country in developing a kin-first culture, including that leaders will be key in holding the level of agency, every level of agency, accountable for providing placement with cultivating strategies around support for kinship caregivers and a kin-first culture. It is critical that our community agencies and policymakers recognize the unique needs of kinship families, including financial assistance, counseling, respite care, and legal resources that can make a tremendous difference in the lives of both caregivers and children. Schools, healthcare providers, and social workers should be trained understanding and respond to the realities of kinship care. It will be important to create a strong community network to support kinship families, creating a stable supporting system long past child welfare steps out of the picture. It is important to allow kin to play a critical role in support of the children and support their families through a difficult time. It is important to honor families by taking time to understand their dynamics, relationships, and explain the legal process and options. Casey Family Programs, another national organization, will be hosting a Kin First convening at the end of September with the celebration of Kinship Caregiver Month. 10 jurisdictions, 10 states in the nation, including 2 tribal nations, will be present this year with a year-long learning collaborative to how we create a Kin First culture. I am excited to share that I will be involved in the collaboration as a lived expert, and the Colorado Child Welfare staff will also be in attendance. In conclusion, kinship care stands for the testament to the enduring power of family. It is an act of courage, sacrifice, and love that has changed the life of countless children around the world. While family may enter into kinship care is in response to tragedy, adversity, or hardship, the strength we deploy illuminates the best of our human spirit. Let us commit together to recognize and support kinship caregivers, celebrating their stories and ensuring that every child has the opportunity to grow up embraced by family, however that family might be defined. Thank you very much for listening to me today.
Thank you, Gail. You always are inspirational and say things so beautifully. I appreciate you. Are there others that wanted to come up?
Yes, Amy Beeman will be joining us. Yeah.
Okay, because Amy is Jamie's caseworker.
Yes.
Okay, welcome, Amy.
Good morning. My name is Amy Beeman. I am a kinship caseworker, and I'm going to read Jamie Wellborn's testimony, who couldn't be here today. Good morning. Before I begin, I just want to ask that you bear with me. I've never been a fan of public speaking, so this is a little out of my comfort zone, but I felt it was important to come here and share my story. My name is Jamie. I'm here today, not just as a big sister, but as someone who stepped into a role I never expected so soon. In September of 2023, I received a life-changing phone call from DHS. I was told that my 2 younger sisters, who were 13 and 9, were being removed from my mother's care. There were serious concerns: domestic violence, drug use, chronic school absences, unsafe living conditions, and dangerous individuals being allowed around them. The home was filled with animals and filth, and it simply wasn't a safe place. DHS asked if the girls could come live with me. I was a brand new mother myself. My son was only 5 months old, and this was a huge decision. But I knew in my heart I had to try. I opened my home to them, not knowing how hard the road ahead would be. At first, things were rough. My sisters were used to chaos, and in some ways they created it because that's all they knew. The trauma they had been through ran deep. I could relate. I didn't have the best childhood either. I struggled as a teenager, got caught up in the wrong crowd, made mistakes with drugs and violence, and spent too long trying to belong where I didn't. But I recognized the same path in my sisters, and I refused to let them go down it. I wanted better for them, stability, safety, love, and healing. Today, I am proud to say that things have changed. The girls are thriving. The oldest is off her IEP. She enjoys school. She's learning what healthy relationships look like, and she's working on her mental health. The youngest is still growing and healing. She's young, and she still struggles at times, but she's in therapy and she's making real progress. And something that warms my heart every day, Raven and my son have become the best of friends. Watching them play and grow up together has been one of the most beautiful parts of this entire journey. The bond that they share is something really special. This journey hasn't been easy, but I haven't done it alone. My fiance has been by my side every step of the way. My best friend has been incredibly supportive. And DHS, the very system that once scared me, has provided support, resources, and people who truly cared. I now have permanent custody of my sisters, and I am honored to be their guardian. They aren't just my siblings, they are my responsibility, and I love them as my own. This experience has changed my life. It's been a blessing in disguise. I even joke sometimes that my life could be a movie, but it's a story I'm proud to tell. I've grown so much as a person and as a mother. I've learned what resilience really means. And because of everything I've learned, I've made the decision, once my children are older, I plan to become a foster parent. I want to help other children who are living in unsafe situations because I've seen firsthand what the right environment can do. Thank you for taking the time to hear my story. I'm standing here today not just as a sister or a mom, but as a survivor, a protector, and someone committed to breaking generational cycles and building a better future.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you, Amy, for sharing Jamie's story. We're sorry she couldn't be with us here. Wow. Okay. All the feelings this morning. Thank you all for what you do. I will have Commissioner. I guess first of all, are there any questions before we move on with the proclamation, Commissioner Kafalis?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much for your presentations and sharing the story. Gail, I was wondering if you could speak to the Grand Family Coalition. What is the Grand Family Coalition? And I believe you have a website. Perhaps you could mention that.
Well, John, as you've been a participant of Grand Family Coalition for our holiday parties, unfortunately, my health is starting to decline. I am really struggling to continue to do my work here locally, as well as I travel about 3 or 4 times a year to national organizations. And I have not had the support of people to do the work that needs to be done. I have not been able to find board members, community partners, the things that we need in order to keep a nonprofit going. I do still run 4 support groups a month. As a matter of fact, I have a couple here that attends them. I also collaborate with community partners. Our Office on Aging has a wonderful kinship support. They provide respite vouchers. They also are teaching kinship powerful tools for caregivers. So we work with other community agencies who provide those supports for our kinship families, although I can't do it. But I do work for Generations United, the national organization that also contracts me out as a lived experience expert to Casey Family Programs.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you.
Commissioner Shattuck, any questions before we move on? All right, well, we'll go ahead and have Commissioner Shattuck McNally read the proclamation and make the motion. And thank you all for being here. And then we'll take a photo after we do that. So thank you all for being here.
Madam Chair, so I'll read the proclamation, make the motion, then may I make comments directly after that? Thank you.
Great.
So glad to read this proclamation today. National Kinship Appreciation Month 2025. Proclamation. Whereas National Kinship Appreciation Month provides a vital opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate the invaluable contributions of kinship caregivers who include grandparents, other relatives, and close family friends that provide loving and stable homes for children when their parents are facing challenges. Whereas kinship caregivers often step in during challenging times to support parents who are struggling with substance abuse, incarceration, mental illness, and make significant personal and financial sacrifices to ensure the safety and well-being of the children in their care. Whereas kinship care plays a crucial role in minimizing trauma for children by maintaining family connections, cultural traditions, and a sense of belonging while improving their overall well-being, including better academic and health and social outcomes. Whereas kinship families face unique challenges, including navigating legal and custody issues, securing financial and housing assistance, assessing health care and educational support, and addressing potential social isolation. Many kinship arrangements are informal and may not be aware or able to access necessary resources and support. Whereas we recognize that supporting kinship caregivers benefits not only the children they raise, but also strengthens families and communities. Whereas organizations such as Grand Families, My Friend Ben, Larimer County Human Services, and Office on Aging, and other state programs provide crucial support services, including financial assistance, counseling, legal guidance, training, and support groups to help kinship families navigate these challenges and thrive. Whereas by promoting a kin-first culture, raising awareness and advocating for policies that enhance family connections and provide equitable resources, we can collectively support kinship families and help create a child welfare system that truly values and empowers them. Now, therefore, the Larimer County Board of County Commissioners does hereby proclaim the month of September 2025 as National Kinship Appreciation Month and calls upon all residents to recognize and support these unsung heroes who provide kinship care, dated this 9th day of September 2025. Excuse me. Madam Chair, I move to approve the proclamation declaring September 2025 as Kinship Appreciation Month.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table, and I believe there is further discussion. So, Commissioner Shattuck McNally.
First, thank you all for being here. Gail, it's always so great to see you. I still fondly remember that first day I met you all those years ago. And you opened my eyes to a whole group of folks who doing lots of great work, but maybe not having their voices heard and being valued. I'm not surprised to learn that you're connected with Generations United. As you know, my daughter and I started doing that intergenerational conversations, and I was in DC when Generations United had a gathering, and I got to connect with them briefly, and they're really important organization, and I'm really glad that they're still very much involved. Thank you for that connection. I'm really saddened to hear things are changing, but I'm so grateful you're putting your health first. You've been through a lot, and you've done a lot to raise awareness and educate the community about the importance of this. And I hope anyone listening maybe might want to step in and help support you and to keep this group going and understand the value and the importance for our community to have this kind of a community and support for these important family kinships. I found it kind of interesting when we say kin first culture and we have housing first. I love that. It is about kin first. And I just want to say, Gail, you have been a trailblazer, and you're not leaving yet, but you have created a legacy of work and strengthening a lot of bonds and collaborations and partnerships that weren't there just even a few years ago. And I just hope you know how much I value you and the work that you do. And thanks for all the things you do to help folks who really feel overwhelmed. I mean, this is such an interesting and important group to think about, because they are trying to be, a lot of these are grandparents, but there's also auntie and uncles who are also just trying to survive and live a quality of life. And there's a lot of folks that maybe don't understand all these challenges because they're very unique. And so I just want to tell you, you're in my heart, and I really value the work that you do and how much of a beautiful person you are. Amy, thank you for being here today and reading that story. It's so nice to meet you. You did such a great job. Which I hope you'll express to Jamie that she's not only a survivor, but she is a hero. In my book, she is a hero. And tell her that, even Mr. Rogers said anybody who does anything for a child is a hero. So to me, she is a hero, an unsung hero, and I'm very proud to hear her story. And it was, you read it so eloquently, but what a beautiful story. And I'm really proud and thankful that that she was able to share her story. And I wish her and her family all the best. We know that there's a lot of these cases or situations in our county, even our region, and it's so important to recognize that really kids do so much better, and it should be families are the way, right? We hear about the Larimer way, and there's the Star Wars way, there's United way. They call United the way, but families are the way, and families look and sound and feel differently, but they're families, and whether it's aunties, uncles, cousins, second cousins, grandparents, families are the bond that children need, and you've said all these numbers, so I don't need to repeat all of them, but families are families, and families first, kin first, housing first, all those things. And just really grateful we do this every year because we need to keep raising this awareness and make sure folks understand how we need to support families all shapes and sizes and makeups, and know how important it is our kids come first, and anybody who does anything in the life of a child. Kin first, families, teachers, community, they're heroes, and we need a lot more heroes in our community because our kids need them. So really proud to read that proclamation today, and thank you all for being here today. I really value you and your work, and just know we appreciate you. And I'm just sorry we can't do more like monthly to recognize all these folks, but I'm glad we do this every year. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kafalas.
Yes, there's. I guess I'll just put an exclamation point on the comments that Commissioner Shattuck McNally made. Simply add that I've known you for a long time, Gail, and I'm very grateful for your many years of caring for grandchildren, your many years of advocacy, your many years of service. I've always enjoyed the holiday parties and the crafts and all of those kinds of events that you folks organize. And certainly Angela, Amy, and other human services type folks out there. This work couldn't happen without your dedication, your passion, your compassion, your competency. You all know how this works. It's not simple. And the fact that we can emphasize kinship care, I think, is incredible. I didn't realize 181 children in Larimer County involved in some kind of kinship care situation. And I'm glad that the majority of the kids, 63%, if I got that data point right, that are not with their family of origin are in some kind of kinship care relationship. Hopefully I got that right.
Yeah, well, you have 63% of our kids in out-of-home care are placed in kinship.
Okay.
94 of the kin providers would have at least one. They have one or more children.
Okay. Well, that's all. Just to say thank you, and thanks, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Our assistant county manager, who I neglected to introduce along with all the other people on the dais, I would ask if you have any comments that you wanted to share.
No, I just really appreciate the work that our team does to support kinship care. As you all know, I am a kinship care provider for 3 relatives that I've been raising for, it's over 15 years now. So I remember celebrating my first child graduating from their IEP too, and want to pass that along to Jamie, how hard what kind of hard work goes into that from both the child's perspective and the parent's perspective. And I wish her well as she continues to raise her sisters, who I'm sure call her mom today. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, just thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. Gail, thank you for your leadership for so many years and your continuing leadership even on the national stage. Your lived experience is really important, and I know that the support that you give to others is very important. So thank you for your eloquent words today. And Amy, thank you for sharing Jamie's experience, really, really moving. Not only that she's helped her younger siblings, but that she's interested in being a foster care parent is pretty remarkable. To know how valuable that work is, to be that mentor in a child's life. So that's really great. And thank you to the folks in the audience who are here that we haven't heard from today. Appreciate the work that you do, whether you're caseworkers or folks who are raising your kin. Your work is really valued, and we're glad to have today to honor you all for doing that hard work. So, yeah, this is a great day to celebrate, and also to acknowledge the fact that this work isn't easy, and that you're not often thanked, and there's not a lot of financial gain from this. So we do appreciate everything that you do to keep families together and take care of people in our community. Well done. So with that, we do have a motion on the table. We're going to vote on that, and then we'll stop and take a photo. So there's a motion on the table. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 3-0, and we'll just pause for a moment to take a picture. Thank you. We are back, and because I forgot to make introductions, just wanted to remind folks that Lindsay Jones is here from the county clerk's office helping us with note-taking and records for this meeting. And Tom Clayton from our public affairs office is here as well. So also the two commissioners, but you've already heard from them. So anyway, with that, we'll move to the Assistant County Manager, Lori Kadrich, for any updates.
I just have a couple of updates I'd like to share this morning. First of all, I'd like to highlight the project that was listed under the consent agenda, and that has to do with the reimagining of the Great Lawn at the ranch. And anyone who has visited the ranch is familiar with that bowl that's there. And if you had the great pleasure, like I did at the fair a couple years ago, that bowl filled with water after a nice rainstorm. And so part of this project will be removing that bowl so that more of the land can be used. It'll also include adding indoor restrooms and kitchen facilities into that area so that there can be different kinds of catering experiences and respite for folks who are attending events. I'd encourage anyone who's interested to take a look at the ranch website and get some ideas of what that would look like, and certainly provide any kind of feedback and input to our staff if folks have ideas on what could be done there. The other thing that I'd like to highlight is last week, the county manager, myself, and Commissioner Kafalis had a meeting with Poudre School District. And at that meeting, we had our staff members, Amy Martonis from Behavioral Health and Dr. Leslie Brooks from the Longview Acute Facility present about the opening of the youth wing that's coming up. And so that was a very informative presentation, and I just wanted to highlight again that our grand opening is going to be September 15th at 3:30 p.m. That doesn't mean that youth can't go to the facility today, because we do see youth. However, the kinds of services that will be available after September 15th will be more intense than what we're able to provide today. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori. Any questions or comments for Lori? No, appreciate it. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Lori, you brought that up with the Poudre, got an update. I hope that we can do that same for the City of Berthoud, City of Loveland, and Thompson School District, have the same presentation.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Lori. We'll move to Commissioner activity reports. We'll start with Commissioner Kafalis.
I think I'll pass.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Shattuck McNally.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We had, the shorter week, but still just as full and robust, and lots of great things happening in Larimer County. I got to meet with and go to a town hall in Boulder County, in my hometown of Longmont, at an area where I used to go fish with my grandfather at a little pond. And so I got to connect with a lot of state legislators and the Attorney General and some other folks, and they were discussing some of the special session and some of the changes from the federal H.R. 1. And so that was a really robust conversation. And actually, we had quite a few people that came down from Larimer County and Loveland. So it was a full house. It was standing room, was more than standing room only, because it was just overflowing capacity. So it was a good opportunity to connect with our colleagues from next door county, and also to hear from some of the state legislators. And there was some of our state legislators that share a regional approach and have jurisdictions in both Boulder and Loveland, or Larimer County. So I thought that was important to share. I'm really grateful to have ongoing breakfasts with some of the fire chiefs around the area, and conversations about things that are going and changing, and appreciate their insights on some of the changes and things that are happening. And again, understanding how they all work together is really important. I was invited to attend the CSU Strager Center Civics Luncheon. I attended with Tina Harris and from Larimer County, our clerk and recorder, and Delynn from the city of Fort Collins, who presented on ranked choice voting. They have a wonderful video for folks who have, if you're living in Fort Collins or have questions about that, the video that they have made, I think it's on their website. I'd highly recommend it. It was really well done. And we had lunch with some students and a chance to share some of the things we do here at Larimer County. And also I shared about opportunities to join some of our boards and commissions that have youth opportunities, and some of the things we do to support youth and maybe looking at how to connect with internships and talk about some things with the Strayer Center. I want to thank Sam and his team for the invitation and the job well done. It was really a great time to hang out together and talk about civics and 101 and voting and the importance of voting and how they can also register to vote and where it is at CSU campus and try to make those connections. I had a meeting with the Insurance Commissioner of the State of Colorado, Commissioner Conway, along with some of the fire chiefs as we continue the conversations on House Bill 1182, which is one I was very involved with the last couple of years and testifying on and other ones. And it's WAFR risk modeling and how we can reduce that risk and how this impacts homeowners insurance. And so the insurance commissioner, are working on a town hall in October that we had one in May. We're going to try to do one in October, and the fire chiefs and some of the U.S. Forest Service are going to be attending that. And so I will get more details to my colleagues. We're just trying to find the right location, and so that will be sometime mid-October. And I again appreciate the insurance commissioner's willingness to talk with all of us, and also working with him on future legislation to further and securing and stabilizing our insurance market when a lot of folks are having trouble maintaining and homeowners insurance in some of our higher risk areas. And so it's really important for the cost and stability for housing costs and folks having housing. So I wanted to emphasize that. On Thursday, we had a very wonderful intern policy. I had a turn attend at the end because I had been in kind of an executive session with Visit Estes Park. Wanted to share with my colleagues. We had interviews for Visit Estes Park Executive Director, and there will be final in-person interviews and presentations in October for the 2 finalists. And those names have not been released yet. I can't share, but I'm sure there'll be a news release on that, and that there will be some things open for the public if they're interested in meeting those 2 candidates. Excuse me. I was very. We had our Forest Health Council Legislative Committee meeting, where we had the Colorado State Forest Service. Excuse me, I'm still dealing with that smoke bothering my lungs. For the Legislative Committee meeting, and I wanted to share this. Colorado State Forest Service is using our voted biomass study that Larimer County did along the partnership with Josh Roberts and Dwayne Penny and the outside consultant and the work that they did. It is held as maybe an exemplar of how to do a process or a wider spread procedure and group process for addressing this. And so it will be inserted in one of their upcoming, they really gave us a lot of kudos and said this will be included in their report coming out soon. That was supposed to be out at the beginning of the year. So I wanted to highlight that. And then thanks and congratulations to the Loveland Youth Campus grand opening. Joy Sullivan and Lance and Allison Hines. Well done. A great presentation, heart and soul. Brought a indigenous gentleman who came and did a blessing ceremony and some sage burning. And so he also did some of the offices afterwards. It's a really exciting to see that open and see the folks in their offices and the child care centers thriving. And thanks to Senator Michael Bennett's office, who also gave a congressional spending a large amount of money that went through Congress to help with the purchase, as well as our American Rescue Plan dollars. I think we gave over $1 million to that for the purchase of that building, and it is really a testament to a determined group of folks who are willing to see a really wonderful idea of a youth campus come to fruition. Child Safe shared with me they have some offices giving therapy sessions in Loveland, which they hadn't really had the opportunity to do before. And since they opened just for a few months, they've already had over 700 therapy sessions, which I wanted to note. So that's pretty remarkable. And Heart and Soul is also housed there and some other groups. And I just wanted to share how exciting and wonderful it was to see an idea that we had when we first came into as commissioners and now see a lot of these things to fruition and happening. It's really a nice way to end a busy week and remind yourself that, it takes a while, but good work and focus and policy comes out. We do great things for the community. It leaves a legacy. And then I ran up to Glen Haven to meet with some constituents about their road concerns and really enjoyed going to Estes Park for the Longs Peak Highland Festival and Tattoo. If you don't know what a tattoo is, that's when the calling of the clans with the bagpipes, and it was a military appreciation night. And they had groups from all over the country and from New Zealand, Australia, Great Britain, and other come. It's really an international festival. A lot of the folks from the U.S. Air Force and other drill teams and bands and brass bands. It's just remarkable music, and I just really enjoyed that. And on Saturday, I just want to share what an amazing county we have. As I spent time running all over, we had the Larimer unlocked at the ranch. I'm a former, before I became commissioner, attended the Larimer 101 class, and so some of my alumni from that class were there. This is a chance for folks to sign up to do a little more in-depth field trips on some of our areas. So contact our line. You can learn about those. But it was at the ranch, and the ranch staff did an amazing, outstanding job welcoming those folks and gave a tour, and Portia and Connor McGrath and their team, just the welcome and the details, attention to details, and the pride. I was so proud to see how they welcomed our visitors, and it was during the Good Guys car show, so the ranch was buzzing with lots of noise and activity. It was great to see it so robustly full and activity. So I want to thank all those folks that participated. And I always love doing the farmers market, read aloud. I had 15 kids along with their families for the read aloud, and it was just so much fun. And they just came, and we had some great conversations. It made me very hungry. All the kids were eating their little breakfast and treats. I was reading the stories, and so I had to buy some things, of course, and my peaches when I left. But it was a lot of fun, and then we all were up at Risk Canyon at the 50th anniversary of the Risk Canyon Volunteer Fire Mountain Festival. It was hundreds of people. Talk about great music, the ice cream, the plant sale, the book sale. Our sheriff's office, our human services, our clerk was there. Our sheriff's, our Office of Emergency Management, just the engaging groups and the information, and everyone was having such a great time. I'm glad we could honor and we did as a group to honor the volunteer firefighters and all the work that they do, and it just really a great time. I enjoy that festival as many years as we've gone. It never gets old. It's a lot of fun. And then a lot of those folks are playing music at the Mountain Festival, came down and performed at Fight the Stigma. I went twice to Fight the Stigma, and very honored to give the awards at the end of the evening for the Yarrow Collective for the work that they do to fill in gaps to help folks with peer support and dealing with behavioral health issues. And then also an award was given to Seth Forward for his steadfast service to the community and work for the unhoused and more with his work with Harvest Farms and the Fort Collins Rescue Mission. And he gave a wonderful, eloquent speech, and also just a plea for everyone to understand this fire that has impacted their center. They're really left with not a lot of options, and the cold weather is coming. So please check out their website and see how maybe we can all help with that going forward. And then I just spent a lot of time hiking up in Rocky on Sunday, and then going to a lot of other events around the community, and just really reminded as I just saw a lot of people coming together and celebrating the community and coming together and doing lots of work to celebrate that community in lots of different ways. I just found it really heartening and exciting to see folks just celebrating each other and celebrating our county. Thanks, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll be brief. Spent a lot of Thursday in transportation meetings. Started out with the National Association of Counties. Got a presentation on the concept of an infrastructure bank, which would be a way to borrow money if, outside kind of the normal places where we would borrow money, like municipal bond type things or certificates of participation. So really, I guess there used to be an infrastructure bank many, many years ago. There is not currently one, but maybe could be a solution for low-cost lending for big projects in our communities. So an interesting concept. Then drove to Fort Morgan for the Upper Front Range Transportation Region meeting. That meeting was interesting because we were, as well, some folks might know, we lost multimodal option fund dollars, MMOF dollars, because of state budget cuts last year. And we were able in the Upper Front Range TPR to push some of the requests out for several years, and in other cases, and including our case for our Taft Hill Road project, get CMAQ dollars. So those are, CMAQ is air quality dollars. And so, as did Estes Park for their trail project. So the good news about that losing the MMOF dollars is we were able to mostly become whole with some of the CMAQ dollars that were available. And so it wasn't as tragic as it could have been, and most people's projects will still go through. Had a same exercise at the Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting later that night in Greeley, where we, we're trying to reallocate some of those MMOF dollars, push some of those dollars out to future years where there will be funding hopefully available, and really grateful that both Greeley and Fort Collins were willing to give up some of their dollars to make sure other projects went forward. So we will be voting on those MMOF dollars for the North Front Range MPO at our next meeting. And then, as was mentioned, we were all at the Loveland Youth Campus event. We were all at the Risk Canyon event. We were all at the Fight the Stigma events all last week. Great events that involved the whole entire community. I will just say on Friday that I was at the Regional Air Quality Commission meeting after the Loveland Youth Campus meeting. We are furiously working on a blueprint that we'll be presenting to the Air Quality Commission on control strategies to reduce the precursors to ground level ozone. There is some contention in that process. It hasn't been the easiest process to go through. There'll be a lot of regulations recommended that will affect not only the transportation sector, but industry. And so there has been a lot of input that's been taken on that process. And I would just say, if people are interested in that process, the Regional Air Quality Commission will be taking comments on the blueprint probably through at least mid-October. So please take a look at that if you are interested in air quality. And that is it for me. And there are no legal matters, so that is all the business to come before this board. Not having a watch, I was saying we are adjourning, and it looks like it's 10:28. 10:27. So at 10:27 we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.